Well, I'm deep into my first superset already. I just finished my first working set. I had one warm-up set on each exercise just to practice the tempo and the range of motion. And then I jumped right into barbell hip thrust, superset with a knee over toe split squat. I like to take a bilateral exercise and a unilateral exercise, combine them in a superset, and then pick slightly different movement patterns for the lower body. This is all about hip extension. That is about knee flexion. So single leg squatting, more hinging and hip extension. This one I can overload a little bit. That one's a much bigger range of motion. This is a shorter range of motion. So we're training short range, long range, getting different loading. I like that variety within a single superset. I got 2 more to do. Rest period's over though. I like to choose rep schemes and time under tension that allow me to get a great muscle stimulus without needing a lot of weight on the bar. So this is 155 pounds, which is pretty light for a hip thrust when you compare it to how perhaps you've seen it done in the past. But I'm doing it for 10 reps. I'm doing it at a controlled cadence or tempo, 5 seconds for every single repetition. So with that weight, the way I just performed it, I'm getting an awesome stimulus without having to load on 300 pounds, 400 pounds, which might reduce my movement quality and introduce some potential injury risk. So that's how I love to approach hypertrophy and strength supersets. Here's a pro tip for you when you're training unilateral exercises. That means single leg or single arm. Always start with your weaker side first. If you start with your weaker side first, you're gonna have more energy, more mental focus, be able to execute higher quality reps, which is what you need in order to help bring up the weak side into balance with the strong side. So you will know very quickly which side is weaker. That could be it can't lift as much weight, tighter, less balance, any of the above. Feel less stable. Always approach that side first. For me, that's my right side. So I learned on the first set, I needed to focus on that right side first. That's why I did it. On the subsequent set, use that pro tip to bring yourself into balance. I think the wear and tear of going heavy, trying to hit maximal loads, it does a number on your brain, your CNS, on your joints. I've already said a number of times, without having to use heavy weights. Hey, I've got nothing against using heavy weights. Lifting heavy is a very relative term, and approaching larger loads or aspiring to lift heavier weights, I don't see a problem with that. I do, however, believe that if you're constantly chasing heavy 1, 2, or 3 reps without control points like pauses or tempo, without doing supersets, with lots of rest, you might find yourself at risk long-term of developing some imbalances, potentially some injuries, if you're not putting in the proper time to take care of your body with recovery practices, great soft tissue work. So for the average person who wants to get in the gym, get great strength training, build some muscle, feel really good, stay functional, it's just not a requirement. You absolutely don't need to do those heavy singles. You can stick with an approach like this that we do in Persist Pump, and you can experience all the results that you likely want and more without having to take on any of the unnecessary risks that might lead to less consistency in your training over time.